Hey, what's up, guys? Just a quick update. QQQ did fall off the watch list. It did push to that 497. It took a long time, and admittedly, I didn't have the size that I wanted for this. But overall, closed everything for some decent gains. For the December contract, I still had six left. I had two of the 1018. So, like I said, good gain on these, just not the size that I wanted on them. So I didn't make as much money as I would have liked. But there's still plenty of other charts that have upside potential. And actually, I'm going to be watching this for a potential short now. It's not quite at the all-time high, but it did end up kind of moving to these dark pool prints here at 497 and the gap, right? This is what we've been targeting for a while. And if we take a look here, SPY actually has a pretty nasty signature print at with 28 prints at 579, and QQQ conversely has theirs at 13, right at 493. So if we jump back to the chart here really quickly, you guys can see 493 would pretty much be the close from Friday, right? So right around there, 493.3. So I think there's potential here that this could either sweep this, right? So where it's currently at, make its way back down, maybe retest this little spot, and then trade to this zone. Remember, there's still this crazy print down at like 471, and there's a signature print at 481. I would actually prefer to trade this via SPY, right? I think that SPY would give us a good sign. If it starts to slip under that signature print you guys saw at 479 that I just had on the screen, if it can start to slip underneath this and buyers don't keep pushing it, I think we could see some weakness into the elections where it starts to move down to the signature print here at 572 and then makes its way back to that big one at 561. So whatever you guys want to do, you can pick your poison. I just kind of have an eye on a short watch here. Like I said, 471 matches up perfectly with 561 on SPY. So it's up to you, whatever you want to choose. This one would obviously be just a failure underneath the gap. Now that I'm looking at it, I actually take it back. I'd rather trade QQQ short versus SPY. And really, if it can kind of reject here, I think we can get a move down to the signature print here, maybe get that trend line retest for that third high or low. And then really, if it starts to seep underneath 478, I would get aggressive on a short now and look for that 471. But yeah, just for now, guys, until that ends up kind of showing its signs, I'm going to be looking for some kind of footprint candle or some kind of bearish reversal on the daily and or weekly, depending on how long this takes. Then for now, I'm just going to kind of take QQQ off watch. Now we can kind of move into some of the stuff that I'm watching now. Obviously, we've taken a good amount of profits on crowd. I'm looking for rolls here. Pretty simple. The weekly kind of level that I'm looking at, I have two little zones here. I should probably just make a zone like this to make it look a little prettier. Should look like that. Looking for a retest of 299.85. We could just round out to 300 into that we like the actual high at 302. I think if we can get that retest there, this looks pretty good, right? I think this is the next spot. Makes a lot of sense. Like there's obviously going to be sellers here at this daily kind of spot here on the gap. We have seen that. It did sell today. Good bearish print. We had an engulfing or outside bar, but it looks pretty damn good, guys. I mean, all this really came from was there was an upgrade on S, right? And then there was a downgrade, or it wasn't a downgrade. I just think it was like some kind of news headline. It has it right here, actually. Faced a major issue due to the faulty software update that resulted in global. Oh no, what the heck? Never mind. I thought there was a news thing that's talking about July. I think they brought it up again. I don't know. It was weird. I just know something came out with S, something happened with this, and this was the reason of it selling, but there's really no indication that it was selling with any volatility or major pressure, right? And remember, we talk about harmonics and divergences a lot. We had the harmonic break, and we can expect some kind of pullback here. And it likely is going to retest the breakout, guys. It's pretty simple, this old high. So 302 to 300. And you can just basically say the 9 EMA is kind of like the sweet spot here. I think this pulls back down. Some of you guys like the visualizations that I do, so just kind of like a move like that, and then we'd expect to pop back up, base, and then go, right? So looking for rolls on crowd here. This would be nice if we can triple dip this. I see no reason to kind of take my eyes off this chart. It's behaving well. It's healthy. All the volume patterns are there. All the structure patterns are there. There's no reason to diverge and look at other charts, in my opinion. So this is the kind of the go-to for now. AMD as well, kind of looking for rolls here. This one's looking a little bit less structurally pleasing, if you will. But if we zoom out to the weekly, I mean, it's pretty simple what we're looking at, guys. I mean, really just a breakout through this lower high. We had very, very good volume on the breakout, and then it had an opportunity to sell and had good buyers step in with good, strong volume on the weekly that defended that 162. And it looks like it has just potential to pull back and retest this lower high, right? So once again, kind of the weekly structure here, pull back, retest, pop out, retest, go, right? And we're looking for that 168, 175 range. So this still is a good chart if we look at this from like a weekly perspective. Chart looks really healthy. On the daily, it is giving kind of like a higher low, in my opinion, off of like, and we saw it on the weekly as well, but you can see it clearly here, right? I mean, it looks super, super simple. Volume once again diverging. We're at the 921 EMA, and we have this simple kind of like, I don't want to say progression gap, even though it technically is, right? Because it already filled, right? You got to think though, I always talk about top and bottom of the progression gap. We have the bottom being here, which kind of caught here with tweezers, and now we have the top like right around here. So there is potential for like an hourly higher low. 1, 2, right? You guys can kind of see that. I think that second one can happen right off 164, and then we obviously press up again into that 169.80, start to take out what was absorbed up here in terms of sellers being absorbed, and then make our way to the top of this gap fill at like 177, right? So still watching AMD here. I would love to get rolls on this one as well. And I mean, this is beautiful, guys. This is like trading 101, right? Where you're able to take profits into strength that doesn't hit target and it pulls back on diverging volume, and you can just use profits and basically milk the same range twice, or I can't talk, same range twice, and really do it on house money, right? And that's kind of the goal here. So AMD, crowd still look fantastic. I'm looking for ads, and I kind of just drew those out for you guys if you want to mark these down. It's my little gray zones, or the gray lines you can see. It's 164. 42 to 162.86 here on the side, right? And then risk would obviously be like kind of a higher time frame close underneath 162, which is that weekly lower high, that weekly the kind of support that we're expecting to catch. Confluence is right at that 21 daily, right? So super, super simple. MU today had a really good move, guys. I've talked about this one extensively. Those contracts that we started for January, I believe, the 130, look good. I was up like 50% on these right at the close, or 44, 45%, in that general range. Looking for a roll. Once again, I already have this drawn out. If we can just bake, I said bake, dude. I cannot talk today, guys. I have allergies. My head feels everywhere, so I'm really sorry. I feel really bad. But yeah, above 108.78, this is this resistance I've talked about forever now. If it can just base that, consolidate, give us some good kind of inside days or whatever it may be, just mitigated sell pressure, make sure we kind of break through it on high volume. I would look to roll same thing, 130 calls, but I can just maybe move these to December or November, take a little bit of time off of it, and kind of do the same thing, right? Lamb Research Day, I don't really think I'm going to add into this one unless we get a pullback here, unless we get some kind of daily pullback and structural pullback to this 80, 83 spot. Then I would look for a continuation up here, and then still same trajectory, but as of now, I really don't need to get much more ads on this until it kind of gives me what I want. There's better charts right now, in my opinion, that actually give me the opportunity to add. But this one ended up just kind of breaking away today, which is nice, but I won't add into this one until we get that 83 pullback, right? So that's still up there. Roblox today, I did start like a speculative position. I think I have 8 contracts or 10 contracts, and really, line in the sand was this lower high range, as you guys can see, rejected multiple times, and it's kind of like your internal range. We ended up breaking the trend line, but then had a crazy weekly close back above. I've talked about this on the scan, and obviously today was a key pivotal spot. We ended up breaking under and then fought for a daily close above, once again on good daily volume, and we held the higher low trend line. So this one could get explosive, but I still think with Roblox and kind of the Hindenburg report, the potential here is good, but I still wanted to keep size somewhat controlled, so right around 8 to 10 contracts. I could just look really quick. I don't know how many I have. Roblox, I actually have 4. So I don't have as much as I thought I did. So I only have 4 of these. I might be able to get this to 8 if we can open up around 40.80 again, or we start to break through the high of today. I'll probably add another 4 to 6 and try to get to 10 contracts because this is a swing. I said I wasn't going to go higher than 10 unless it's like a super confident one. So I'll probably keep this one around 10. I'll add 6 if we can open around 40.80 or if we break through that high. All right. But this one looked pretty good, pretty constructive today, so I did take the ads on that. And shop, right? I rolled today. Maybe ill-advised of where I took this. I usually don't like to trade kind of like this. I told you guys the risk to reward here is still somewhat good, but I don't really see a reason that this needs to come back down. But I did take some ads today in this gap here. Excuse me. It broke above this level here, and it kind of just based, right? You guys can see I was waiting for a higher low. We ended up getting somewhat of a higher low here and a close above 83.50. And I took these ads, I ended up pushing to like, I don't know, I think I was like 6% or something like that. And it looked constructive, but it sold back down obviously, and it's still holding above this gap. I might keep this one pretty tight, guys. I'm not going to lie, just because of where I added. I have like 8 contracts or so, probably heavier than I should be, to be honest. And even for me, right, and I don't think 8 contracts is anything drastic, but it's just money. I don't want to say ill spent, but I didn't. There's better spots to add, right? I mean, if this sells down and kind of gives us a better entry, I would add 8 there. Like for where I added currently, this should probably be like 3 contracts or 4 contracts, but it is what it is. Maybe we get some kind of big move here or some news and we can get that markup. But yeah, added this here as we claimed back above 83.50. We'll see what that does. And then last but not least, Roku here. This looks decently good. I would still like to see this pull down. And I still think that this has a move to 70.20, right? I would like to see this sell here, kind of push back up, reclaim that progression gap high, and then make its way to the gap, cover that, and then kind of move from there. This one's going to take a little bit of time, though, in my opinion, but that's really all I got, guys. I just wanted to recover everything. Let you know QQQ fell off the trade list. Hood fell off the trade list because Hood obviously keeps pushing. I don't really think this is going to pull back. There's a couple names too, like Mara still looks decent. I still would prefer this over 1873 and kind of prove itself and get out of this little zone it's in, and maybe it can start to pop. But Riot doesn't look as bad. I mean, Riot looks a little bit better in my opinion, where this actually claimed pretty decent spot here. We could either take this lower high here, this kind of lower high range, and tie it into this progression gap from back here. You guys can see it clearly closed above. It has room to potentially 1024. So if there's a crypto name I'm going to be watching, I think it's going to be Riot. And still great opportunity for this to trade another, 20% on the underlying, which is ridiculous. It's only about $1. But I will keep this one on close watch. But for now, I still think the bread and butter plays are Crowd, AMD, MU, right? Those are the 3, with like the rest of them kind of just being secondary focuses, although I do have positions in them already. But that's pretty much going to be it, guys. This is about 12 minutes. It shouldn't take too long to go through. Sorry for all my stuttering. Sorry for I feel like my mouth is like so dry, so I apologize if this wasn't good to listen to, or it was a little choppy. Definitely getting sick. It's either allergies or I'm getting sick, and this usually happens around this time of year. So I'm sorry, but I appreciate you guys. Mondays are usually slow, and I'm still trying to just keep up the system, guys. Just being patient, sticking to a couple charts, and just letting those things kind of play out, and rolling as needed into strength, and then adding on dips as long as targets aren't hit. And it's been pretty successful. I mean, I've been doing really good over the past 2 months since August, and year to date, been doing pretty good as well. So I will see you guys on Tuesday. We do have some earnings this week as well. Pretty light in terms of the economic calendar, right? Nothing super crazy this week, just earnings, and then obviously next week it starts to kind of pick back up again. Or actually, no, we have nothing that week, but following week, right? We have JOLTS again, and obviously that's a big one when it's tied with NFP as well. So looking forward to that one. So 2 weeks away, going into November 3rd, and then obviously elections as well. So we got a big 2-week kind of a week or 2-week period coming up, and I'm excited for that. So yeah, let's keep it tight. Let's play it smart, and don't do anything super crazy. I understand there's a lot of hype around crypto and a lot of these names, but just play it safe, guys. Trust me. You want to have some cash for not into necessarily the election, but post-election, right? That's very key to keep your account afloat, and don't do anything crazy, okay? All right, I'll see you guys Tuesday.